My name is David Edward Whittaker II. I am a writer. I write fictional stories, sports articles, and I write poetry and hip-hop music. I've been writing ever since I was a little boy. Most of my earlier work was more drawing. I would draw characters or draw Superman stories, Incredible Hulk stories, Michael Jackson Thriller stories, and then I would just put little, almost like the comic books where you have the little bubbles where they talk. I would do stuff like that earlier work. My dad, he would dibble and dabble as far as storytelling. He'd always tell me stories when I went to bed at night. And my mom, she would always write, and my dad could draw. So I think it was something I got from them because they never pushed me to do it. My dad would give me a tablet, I would draw. Then once I started learning how to write words, when I started going in, kindergarten, first grade, then my drawings would start having words with them, with what the characters were saying.
This kind of started out as a hobby?
Yes.
Would you say? And then when did you take it to the next level?
I always wanted to be a published author. I can't say always, but probably, as you get older, like when you're young, you're not really thinking about that. Obviously, when I'm in second grade, I'm not even thinking about getting anything published. I was just doing it because it was something I love to do. But, once you get out of high school and you get older, then you start taking those kind of things more serious. And I said, well, I should just get some of this stuff published.
Okay, and so when did that happen? When did you first get published and what was it?
I got published in 2016. The story is called Quinten Morrieson. It's an action drama, or you can say a mystery crime. It's about a young man who's a vigilante from California. He goes undercover to a school in Chicago and tries to figure out why the school is so corrupt by gangs. A lot of people don't know, me and one of my friends were going to write this story together originally. He claimed to be a writer. I don't know if he really was, when you're younger, because this was in like 92. And when you're younger, people always say they can do things and sometimes they can't, but I'd already been writing stories, obviously, by then, so I took it upon myself to write the story. And I watch a lot of movies. It was inspired by a lot of movies, action movies I'd seen, because I just wanted to write kind of like an action, drama story. Okay, as far as movies, Back to the Future, that trilogy, that's one of my favorites. I like the Terminator movies, and then I grew up as a little boy in all the Superman movies, the Christopher Reeves, so I like those. Those are some of my favorite movies too. I've always been amazed by Stephen King ever since I was younger. I read one of his stories when I was in school, The Running Man. I read that when I was in school, excellent book, and I've always been amazed that he has that big of an imagination and that many books sold, and they're all turned into movies. I said, if I can ever get at that level, then I know I made it. The first time I really started doing hip-hop music, it was in 1992. I was just playing around with me and my cousin. We were just trying to, when you're little, like I said, you always experiment with certain things before you know you could ever take it serious. So we were writing a rap one day, and she called me Eddie D. And that ended up being kind of like my stage name over the years, Eddie D. Now I recorded, a CD by myself. I didn't have a studio or anything. I just had a tape recorder and I was beatboxing the beats. I recorded it like around 93 or 94, put it out, and then for some reason I just kind of caught the fever where I wanted to put out more and more stuff, and then it just turned into something bigger where, now a lot of people ask me to rap, or they want to hear me rap, or I get requests for some of my older CDs, but I never thought it would be anything like that. We were just trying to pass the time when we did it, and then it just ended up being something I love to do, but I never really expected it to be.
That's phenomenal. I mean, it really is a blessing in anyone's life that can do and have some level of success at what they love to do.
There was a place downtown, the Funky Buddha.
Downtown Chicago?
Yeah, I used to perform there. It's like, I want to say it was Tuesdays or Wednesdays nights where I knew somebody there that knew somebody, and then they would, let me get on stage and perform. that was really the last time I think I was on stage. That was a few years ago, because I kind of took a break from, recording music when I was pushing for this book to get published.
Is there a difference between hip hop and rap?
It's really a matter of opinion, because a lot of people say hip hop, they talk more about the true essence of hip hop as far as breakdancing, graffiti, and rap, and just not the music scene.
Yeah.
Rap is more, in my opinion, just a subgenre of hip hop, because hip hop is more than music.
Yeah, what came first? I mean, I've seen a couple documentaries. I mean, there's some great stuff now on Netflix, like the history of hip hop. I guess the Bronx was the birthplace.
Yeah, it's always real controversies of where it actually really started. I know most of the documentaries I've seen, it really didn't even start with the rapping. It was more about the break dancing and people just having a good time. And then eventually, people started getting on the mic and saying something to the beat. Yeah. And then it just kind of overnight, people got more and more creative for, what they were saying on the mic, where now the people on the mic get more attention than the DJ or the person in the background, where when it first started, it all was about the DJ, the person mixing, and it was about them more than the person on the mic. And then over time, it just kind of gravitated towards more of the person who's talking.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Which is interesting if you think about it.
Yeah, because
the easiest thing about writing is pretty much when your imagination is running wild, I would say. When you have a lot of ideas in your mind, and it just comes like that, you can just sit down and just write quickly, which doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, I can write like pages and pages and pages, like literally like pages and pages, where I'll say, oh, I only have 40 pages I wrote so far, and people laugh. So far, only 40 pages.
So, okay, two things. How do you write? Do you do freehand writing, or do you use a computer, or?
I usually do freehand writing because I like to edit a lot. When I go to computer, I'll notice things that I did when I free wrote it that I need to change, or it'd be a scene where I need to be more specific, where I'm like, well, I didn't go into detail about this, so now when I'm typing it, I can change that or add something there. So I like to I would say the free writing is almost kind of like a rough draft of the story. And then when I type it up, I kind of change things here and there, or edit things here and there. The hardest part about being a writer is really marketing it, I would say. Marketing can be hard because there's so many other writers out there. It's just a competitive field. Probably not as competitive as the movie business or the music business, because it's a lot of writers, but then it isn't that many. Like, I know people that write, but I don't know that many people that write. But when you go on the internet, it's a lot of people when you go to that venue. So it's just hard marketing and letting people know and encouraging people, hey, if you like my book, tell other people about it, tell them why you like it, go to Amazon and write a review on my book. It's hard reminding people to do that, because word of mouth is one of the easiest ways that things spread. If you see a commercial telling you to buy a hamburger, you may be skeptical. If I come to you and say, hey, you need to go here, that hamburger is good, you hear it from somebody you know, you're going to be more receptive to listen to them and go to the place and get the hamburger.
Well, while we're on the topic, I mean, how are you, you published it, you've got a hard copy of the book, but how are the other ways you are trying to get the word out?
I'm calling a lot of independent stores and talking to a lot of people online. I also have an audio book. I'm talking to a service online that they could, put my audio book on their website. I'm seeing about how I'm gonna go about doing that. Just word of mouth, putting it on my Facebook page, putting it on my Instagram page, telling everybody I can possibly. And there's another bookstore my friend gave me the number to. I'm gonna call them to see if I can get my book into their store. So it's just a lot of grinding.
How many pages do you have to write for it to be a book?
I don't know, because there's two types of books. I have a lot of short stories I've written, and then I have like the Quinten Morrieson, which is a novel. So when it's a short story, I just try to keep it. I try to imagine like it's a half an hour television show.
Oh, okay.
So when I do that, then I'm already setting myself up to, how far to go. When I'm writing a novel, I just keep writing until the story is told. So I don't put an edit or it can only be this long, or I just keep writing it however long it needs to be to tell the full story. That's how long it needs to be.
And Quinten Morrieson, how long did it take you to write that?
In '92, I wrote it. It took maybe a few months to write it, and then in 2008 I rewrote it, and I typed it in 2012, and that was when I said, well, I'm typing it to get it published.
So it was done in 2012, and it took you until 2016 to get published?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. What advice would you have for any aspiring writer, somebody who enjoys writing, short stories like yourself, but is considering maybe taking the next step and trying to become a writer themselves?
Just stay focused. Stay focused. Don't give up. Believe in yourself. Write from the heart. Don't be influenced by the outside people, because it's your story. Don't let people say, hey, you shouldn't write about this, or you shouldn't write about that. But before you know it, somebody will write about that, and they'll sell 1 million copies, and you'll say, well, they're telling me not to write about this. So just write from the heart. Be yourself. Don't give up. Stay strong.
How can our viewers learn more about your work and find more information on you?
You can go to lulu.com. That's where you can get Quinten Morrieson. It has a small biography about me in the book too, about things I've done. Some of the things we've covered here, obviously, but some stuff we haven't is on there. So lulu.com. Quinten Morrieson is also on amazon.com. It's also on barnesandnoble.com. So you can purchase it in those places. And I'm still working on the audio book, trying to get that online right now. It's not available, but hopefully soon it will be.
That seems. David, thank you so much. This was great. I loved learning about both your writing and your music. Mm-hmm. You're extremely talented, and we wish you nothing but the best in the future. And looking forward to getting this all together and getting it to you and for you to view it, and then we'll put it out to our viewing audience.
Okay.
So thank you so much once again for your time.
Oh, you're welcome. I move the crowd like I'm holding a gun. Paraplegic MC on the mic, I don't run away from you. Corny raps, you're not scary. Rhymes never carry. Move crowds like I was carry. Mind strong, strategic, strategy, supreme, selective. Favorite rapper is mad at me. He rhymes averagely, I rhyme with wizardry. Lyrically, rappers try to form conspiracies to take me out like recess. You can be blessed, release death, ease up, you speechless. I can't feel you like I was senseless. I will bench press, phony rappers and rip flesh. Like a beast, I'm an animal, heart of a lion. I'm a Leo, when I roar, rappers is crying. I don't deceive, a loss you will receive. And MCs only rap good on Christmas Eve. That's once a year, 12 months I stay raw like I hate safe sex, cause when I lay down law.